Nau mai, haere mai ki Paparoa, ki te taipoutini, ki te whenua o Ngāti Waewae. Kia ngahau, kia haumaru te noho, ā, haere pai mai, hoki o rātu.
The Paparoa Track. The Paparoa Track is an advanced Grade 4, 56.2 kilometre ride or an intermediate grade 55 kilometre tramp that travels through Paparoa National Park. As a shared use track, it offers a multi-day adventure for both mountain bikers and trampers, showcasing some of the most distinctive landscapes the West Coast has to offer. The track is open year-round. However, severe weather such as heavy rain, strong winds, snow, and freezing temperatures can occur any time of year. Ice and snow is more common in the winter months, adding another hazard to the exposed sections. The average temperature fluctuates from 18 degrees in summer to 4 degrees in winter. However, it is the wind that is possibly the greatest hazard and may result in the Department of Conservation closing the track. Prepare for all conditions by taking warm and waterproof clothing. Phone reception is available in some places along the track, but a distress beacon is still an essential item. An emergency shelter and survival blanket are also essential to wait out any severe weather, flooding, or an injury that requires a rescue. You'll be on your own out there, so if you're riding, carry a repair kit for your bike to tackle any unexpected mechanical issues. For riders, a key part of your preparation is having a well-packed and balanced bike. There are plenty of options for carrying your gear, but in general, we recommend only putting lighter items on the front of your bike. This is a perfect spot for your sleeping bag. You can store heavier items in a frame bag or on the back of the bike where it will have less influence on your bike's handling. If you're wearing a backpack, keep it light and focus on items you'll use throughout the day. Be sure to leave your intentions with a trusted contact before starting the trail. An easy way to do this is by using the Plan My Walk app, which also helps you plan your trip with track alerts and weather forecasts. Download the app or check out planmywalk.nz. Before the trip starts, it's important to know where you are going to stay on your journey. There are 3 huts on this track, and they all need to be booked through Dock in advance. This is a great walk track, so spaces are limited and they go fast. You'll also need to be aware of a few rules specific to this track. Riding at night is prohibited to protect the nocturnal wildlife in the area. Electric bikes are currently not permitted. And this is a shared use track, so remember to be courteous, stay in control, signal your approach, and give way where appropriate. The Paparoa Track starts at Smoko car park, which lies 8 kilometres north of the town of Blackball. This is a small car park intended for day use only, so you will need to organise transport to get to this point. It's a 10.3 kilometre climb up to Ces Clark hut, and this should take around 2 to 3 hours for the average mountain biker, or a 4 to 5 hour walk for the average tramper. The first section begins on the historic Ces track. This gives you a nice peek into the area's gold mining past, but it is a particularly rough ride due to its historic nature. Expect uneven, rocky terrain for the majority of this section, with a steep drop-off into the bush below. This provides an interesting challenge as you progress up the valley. Some parts are particularly hard to navigate on a bike, so know your limits and dismount when you have to. Warning markers are placed along the track, so keep an eye out for big obstacles or tricky stream crossings in these areas. With all of that in mind, remember to also enjoy the breathtaking climb through the native West Coast forest. Eventually, all of that climbing will bring you to Ces Clark hut. If you aren't staying the night here, this is a great spot to take a break and replenish your water. There is mobile phone reception available, so it's a good place to update your trusted contact on your progress and to get the latest weather forecast. If the forecast is for high winds, then consider staying the night at Ces Clark hut. Call the Paparoa Visitor Centre to check that this is possible. In severe weather conditions, Dock may make this decision for you by closing the track. If the weather is looking good, then you can continue your climb through alpine tussock with a nice view of the track ahead. It is a 9.7 kilometre and 1.5 hour ride or 3 hour walk to Moonlight Top's hut. The track is well formed and soon becomes easier than what you have experienced so far. but there is a steep drop-off along the ridge that requires you to stay aware of your surroundings and not take any unnecessary risks. Being above the bushline leaves you exposed to all kinds of weather, which makes wind and rain a significant hazard in this section. In winter, this part of the trail can experience snow and icy conditions. If you're uncomfortable or it is too difficult to get a good grip and stay in control, either dismount and walk or retreat back to Ces Clark Hut. After an enjoyable and scenic journey along the ridge, the trail winds down to Moonlight Top's hut. All trampers are encouraged to stay a night here, as it is a very long way to walk from Ces Clark to Pororari hut in a day. For riders, even if not staying overnight, this is another great spot to take a break, get an updated weather forecast, and replenish your water. From here, it's a 19.1 kilometre 3-hour ride or a full day's walk along the ridge tops to Pororari hut. This section of the trail is also where you will find the track junction for the Pike29 Memorial Track. The walking is straightforward, but for riders there is a lot of downhill, so check your brakes before leaving Moonlight Tops to ensure everything is working correctly. The bush provides more shelter from the elements as you descend, but there are some sections with very steep drop-offs that require your attention and caution. Some of these drop-offs are fenced in, but it remains a hazard along the way, so keep an eye out for the warning markers and stay alert in these areas. A well-built track makes for a fast and fun downhill ride, but there are sharp switchbacks that have caught riders off guard and resulted in injuries in the past. To avoid any accidents, slow your descent when approaching corners and be prepared to give way to trampers on the track. 5 kilometres after the hut, you'll come across the track junction for the Pike29 Memorial Track. This 11-kilometre track was constructed to commemorate the 29 men who tragically lost their lives in the Pike River mine disaster in 2010. The track descends 900 metres into the valley and finishes at the Pike River mine, providing an additional entry and exit point for the Paparoa Track. If you intend to include this track in your journey, plan ahead and make sure you leave enough time in the day to reach your destination. Transport will also need to be booked in advance if you plan to start or finish at Pike River Mine. Back on the Paparoa Track, the journey continues over the top of a large escarpment, where the track narrows with steep drop-offs on either side. This is a consistent hazard to be aware of for the next 2 kilometres before arriving at the emergency shelter. This is a good spot to take a break, but be aware that overnight use of the shelter is for emergencies only. The track drops down into the bush, with many switchbacks to navigate before reaching Pororari hut, which is located a short distance off the main track. This is another great spot to take a break, enjoy the views, and top up on water if you aren't staying the night here. It's a 17.1 kilometre 2 to 3 hour ride out to Waikori Road car park from Pororari hut. For trampers, it's a 4 to 5 hour walk to Pororari River car park. This well-made gravel track makes for a smooth ride out, so enjoy your last few hours flowing through the beautiful West Coast rainforest. The track diverges towards the end, sending trampers and mountain bikers to different exit points. If tramping, be aware that the Pororari River can flood in heavy rain, so the inland pack track may be the best option to exit safely. Once you reach the car park, you can either meet with your pre-booked transport or head along the road to Punakaiki. The Paparoa Track is a stunning tour through the unique and diverse landscape of the wild West Coast. Prepare for a safe trip by packing clothing for both good and bad weather conditions. Carry a repair kit and have a well-balanced and maintained bike. Take a phone and a distress beacon. Know your limits, stay in control, and dismount when necessary. Now that you're all set, climb into your saddle or lace up your boots and enjoy this amazing trail for yourself.